Thank you, Chairman. I'll start. The Taoiseach of the Taoiseach here today spoke about the opposition and said that they were giving out about the budget before the budget was even announced. The funny thing is, this is one of the most leaked budgets in the history of the state, but it becomes a common practice now. So we all knew most of the details of the budget anyhow before, so it was easy for us to criticise it if there was criticisms to be made, and certainly there was. And there's green shoots in the budget also, Minister. But certainly, when I look at the opportunity for you to address the hospitality sector and the crisis they're going through, you have cafes, restaurants, bars throughout the country that are absolutely struggling, especially in rural areas, you know, that depend on a summer turnover and find it very difficult to continue during the winter. And now they've been hit with your mini budget you had last September, when you put up the fuel but put up the hospitality from 9 to 13.5%. These people are struggling, Minister, and you didn't care. You had a chance in this budget to turn that around, but you certainly used your September mini budget to crucify them further and try and squeeze more out of them. We also, you know, I'm astonished to think that the Taoiseach Leo Varadkar and the Taoiseach were inside here again today, Micheál Martin. Not one word about the fishing industry. Now, we've looked at the fishing budget. I think it's almost halved. So there you have it. That's why nobody's speaking about fishermen inside here. They're the forgotten people of Irish society. The inshore fishermen and those who head out in the trawlers weeks on end to try and make a living. And the budget has dropped. So that means we may not see any improvements in the Union Hall pier down in West Cork, because this promise that was made by the Fianna Fáil government hasn't been delivered. They blame the council blamed them, and there's a right little game of tennis going on between the two of them. But who's caught in the middle is the people of Union Hall and the peer users of Union Hall. And there's many more peers that look like could be sidelined now, going forward, because of massive budget drop, and that's why it's not been mentioned. I looked at different various farm groups. They are very, very unhappy. I think there's a bit of an increase, all right, in farming in relation to a goat or an old donkey up on top of the hill, because that keeps the old greens happy. But for the real farmers out there, the suckler farmers and sheep farmers and the dairy sector, they've been hit once again. But Fine Gael don't care, or Fianna Fáil, because they're keeping their little buddies happy inside in government. Hit the farmer, keep them, like they told me recently, were treated like environmental terrorists. The people that put food on our table. Minister, are you asleep at the wheel? Do you not understand what they do for the country? Have you turned your back completely on him? And we have a senator down in West Cork that's tearing his government apart every day of the week, but he's a senator inside the government, and he has a problem with them. Why don't he walk away from them? It's an insane situation. Now we see Fianna Fáil fighting against Fine Gael in West Cork, Fine Gael fighting against Fianna Fáil in West Cork, and when they come up here, they're locked arms, and they're kissing each other. They're not going to make fools of the people of West Cork. They caught the people with their nitrates and their carry-on. Leo did nothing on nitrates, Varadkar. Neither did McConnell, Minister. They stood idly by and left it happen. I really have a situation too with the carers. I felt that this is an opportunity to look at carers means not being means tested, because there's a huge amount of people out there that are doing great work and keeping their loved ones at home and working so hard on that. And I know Deputy Sean Kenny mentioned that a while ago there too, but it is a huge issue, and still there's your means tested. So basically it's not on the ability of you delivering a service that saves the state a lot of money. It actually is based on what your husband is doing. You know, if he's got a good job, tough luck, you don't get anything. And sadly, that's an awful situation for people they find themselves in. We need to talk, and unfortunately you could be here for hours talking about the roads budget. The roads budget has been cut and cut. And there's a report has come in, and the government has stood idly by in that report. Did they think nobody would hear about it? The TII said the lack of funding on roads has led to deaths. So what do? We go and we blame the motorists. 2.2 million vehicles on the road, but you blame the motorists for the road deaths. Not the minister that was told not to lower the budget, but failed to heed the advice he got. It's an astonishing situation, and she led idly by on that basis. And the carbon tax, he hit on carbon tax on people. Why not make it, and we put it into our budget proposals that was put forward to the government, to make it all insulation products VAT-free. Of course, that's the way forward. Stop punishing people. Stop. If you are going to punish people, give them back some of your bob again. You don't do that. And I'm looking at a lot of nursing homes throughout the country are closing their doors. Minister, there's no aid package inside here, bar an electricity rebate to save them. And I have a nursing home down in Belgooly where 48 patients are basically being kicked out It's down now to 17, sadly, left in the nursing home, as families frantically are around West Cork looking for nursing homes. There's a disgrace. And to couple that, there's 51 workers within 2 weeks of being booted out the door and have never been communicated by APRI Living or anyone else in relation to any entitlement that they have. Minister, you're washing your hands of real crisis that's in this country, and you're trying to boast you've done a fabulous budget. Where is the budget going to deliver for the people of Belgooly who are losing their nursing home? And many more nursing homes throughout the country. And we just standing idly by. You look at the health budget. Good God almighty, the health budget. There isn't anyone accountable. It ran 1.1 billion over. Jeepers God, I think if I lost €1,000 a year or somebody in my business, I'd be contemplating firing him. But you lose 1.1 billion and nobody opens their eyes and says, hang on, is there a problem here? But not at all. Sure, 1.1 billion is nothing. Put your hand in the tail. Where is it being soaked up? Why are people having to bus themselves to Belfast, go blind from the south to the north? Why are people can't have hip operations or knee operations, or carpal tunnel? You name them one after operation after another. They can't have it because he failed them. You have a failed health system that's absolutely boiled down to the ground as being absolutely useless. Useless, Minister, useless delivery, a shocking situation that people find themselves in, to be gone blind or in pain and to be depending on this government to deliver. There'll be no delivery there for them. Education, the class sizes was a big issue that should have been dealt with, and it hasn't been dealt with. I met with the INTO. I promised them I'd do my best. We have it in here as our proposals, but they were ignored. The USC charge, well, it was brought down from 4.5% to 4%. Be honest with you, Minister, what is the USC charge? It's a money grab. That's what you're continuing to do with carbon tax, with this tax, with that tax. Money grab, money grab, money grab. Take the money out of the ordinary people's, the ordinary worker. That's what's happening here. It's the working person is suffering here, and they can't continue. And I have to sum up by one thing. I'm talking about pensions and people's pensions. You're giving €12, and I welcome that. That's a great initiative to give €12 to anybody that's drawing a pension because they're finding it difficult. Minister, there is letters going out to every second one in the country who has a pension in this country and taking the pensions on them. I had an old lady inside here frightened. I have 12 more seconds. I had an old lady frightened to the living life of herself at 80 years of age. Her pension was taken from her. And how many more has that happened? It's a scandalous situation where people can't, imagine, keep their pension at the latter end of their life being stuck, and now they're getting letters that they're living in vacant homes and they're living inside it by revenue. What's going on in this country? It's a grab against the ordinary people.
Thank you, Deputy.
Thank you.